And what do you want me to start, or you want me to start now?
Start.
Hi, and welcome to episode 61. This is my friend Dawn,
That's my friend Lisa.
and together we're the Codependent Knitters. We do a knitting podcast as well as other things. For those of you joining us again, thanks for coming. And for those, who it's your first time, it's good to see you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We hope you enjoy us. And if you do, it helps us out if you click the thumbs up below the video and subscribe to our channel if you're not a subscriber. It just helps with YouTube promoting us to other people searching for knitting podcasts. So we like that.
All right.
Yeah. Episode 61. We have first business, Lisa. We should do the winner for the giveaway, the comment giveaway on episode 60, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Do you have the yarn?
No, I put it away.
Okay, you go grab the yarn and I'll tell the people.
All right.
Okay, knitters. So on episode 60, we asked you to comment below the episode using the word friends in your comment if you would like to win the last skein, the last unowned skein of the Codependent Knitters Special Colorway by Timber Yarns. So we did the random comment picker, and the winner was Vicky Wallner, and I'll put that up on the screen. So Vicky's comment said, or read, "Great to see you again, friends. Happy you could be together to record." And we were happy to be together to record as well.
That's pretty awesome.
So yeah, so this was a special colorway we did a couple of years ago. If you've been following us all along, we had orders, like it was a one-time colorway with Timber Yarns. So congrats, Vicky. Thanks for watching, and get us your mailing address and we'll get that out to you.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah. So speaking of prizes, we have a knit along that finished at the end of December. Lisa?
It was the shape along, and that was a good one. There was it 73 people? So that was pretty good.
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, so that was
yes.
Really good.
That was a
lot of gnomes.
A lot of gnomes, because you could double enter or double dip if you were doing the Imagine Landscapes Year of Gnomes make along. So we picked 4 winners for that, and we have a couple little prizes. So the first winner, number 25, was Carnacy, and I'll put your entry up on the screen. And that was a collection of little pumpkins. They're really adorable. So Carnacy, you are going to win this the Knit's Best Thing sock bag, or small project bag.
I like that
drawstring. Yeah, gardening season's going to be coming up soon, right?
Yeah.
At least for us, it will be. So yeah, get in touch with your address and we'll get that out into mail to you. And then we also had number 52 was Trylinda. I'll put that on the screen. And let me just grab the other one. So that Trylinda had
mini skeins. I'd forget what she made now.
Yeah, the 2 mini skeins. These are by Fireweed Fiber Company, I think it is, and they're in Manitoba. So they're just 2 little adorable coordinating mini skeins. And we'll probably vacuum seal this to make it flat, because then I can send it for a very low price. So yep, get in touch with us. And Trace 44, who we actually know, Tracy. Yeah, Tracy won a Needle Keeper, also from the Knit's Best Thing. My shop is not open right now, so this is just some inventory that I have, and I'm going to use it up for prizes. And I don't know yet if I'm going to be opening up my bag shop. If I do, it probably won't be on Etsy. It might just be on Instagram, but that's another story. So Tracy, yay, you've got a little Needle Keeper. And the 4th winner was number 12, Elle McCall, who is Linda. So Linda, you've also won a Needle Keeper in this really cool pink grunge fabric. And we also decided to have a look at, because some people put in a lot of entries. Yeah. So we looked at who did the most entries on Ravelry, and that was also Elle McCall. So Lisa, you suggested the prize for that?
Yeah, so basically, she entered the most in that one giveaway. So I wanted to show up my gratitude for her taking part, or our gratitude for taking part, and we want to buy you a three-dimensional pattern. So if
Hmm.
you get a hold of myself, and we can kind of gift you a pattern into your Ravelry library.
Yeah, awesome. So thanks everyone for participating in that. It was a lot of fun, and there's a lot of great things you can knit. So that's the second last one that we started last year. The other knit along that's still ongoing till the end of January is the winter accessories make along. Yeah. So that's any accessory like hat, mittens, a scarf, I think we said, cowl. Yeah. So yeah. So you've still got time to enter that. And it's still plenty cold at least in Canada, in most places.
Right.
Yeah. So get your entries in for that in our Ravelry group. And new year, we're going to kick off a couple of new ones, new make-alongs. So Lisa, do you want to talk about the sweater make-along?
Oh, we're doing that all year, aren't we?
We are.
We are. So we're doing a year-long sweater make-along. So we've kind of decided that I love making sweaters. Dawn apparently likes making sweaters now, loves it. So we're going to do a year-long sweater make-along. We did talk about, a lot of grandparents are making for their grandchildren. So 2 sweaters is equal to a adult sweater. I can't remember about WIPs. Are we taking
2 kids? So 1 adult is an entry.
Yeah, and 2 kids is an entry. Sorry, I was so excited. So did we decide about WIPs? I can't remember. I didn't have that written down.
Yeah, if you finish a sweater.
Yeah, so as long as you finish it. So
anytime this year.
Anytime, yes. You have until December 31st, 2023.
Yep.
So yeah. Did you want to talk about the other one that we're going to do for the year?
Oh, we also had talked about, Lisa, that if it's your first sweater, you get 2 entries.
Yes, because we want people to be just as lovingly making sweaters as we do.
And if you want, there will be a chat thread. So if you want suggestions for easy first sweaters, comment in the chat thread. We are happy to give you ideas. A lot of our other group members will, I'm sure, be happy to give you ideas. It's not as hard as you think. If you can knit and purl, there are some very simple patterns out there that you can do. Definitely. If I could do it, you can do it. And once you get going, like, I want to roll. Right. I just want to knit all the sweaters.
All the sweaters.
Okay.
All the sweaters. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So the other one that we were going to talk about was the WIP Your WIP. Basically going back in any WIP that is from last year or later. Is that what we decided? Last year or later?
Yeah. Or older. Yeah.
Older. Yeah. So basically, if you started it last year or way back when you first started knitting, and you want to finish it, this is your opportunity to finish it. There's a couple of things that, I've been switching in and out of bags. So I think that's my goal, is to finish that. I think it's a couple of pairs of socks. And so, yeah.
Yeah, I have. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask if you had any particular ones you want to finish.
Well, I did finish a WIP that I'll show in my FOs. It was almost 2 years old. Nice. I have so many project bags. I couldn't possibly, but I mean, obviously want to finish my sweaters that I have 3 on the needles. I've got a couple hats on the needles, and I have tons of socks. So yeah, I do want to pick up some of those older pairs of socks and just get through them and get them out of the project bags as well.
Nice.
So that's going to go till the end of March. So you've got 3 months, well, 2.5 now, 2.5 months to finish up any WIP that you had started before the end of December 2022. You can enter in this make along. And then we decided one more. So 2023, new year. Lisa said, new year, new to me technique. So I like that.
I like that. Yeah. So we kind of broke it down into 3 sections of the year. So the first one is color work.
Mhm.
And when we say new to you technique, it doesn't have to be a new technique. You can actually just maybe take it up a step. Like for example,
Mhm.
I have no problems doing two color, two color work, but three might be a bit more out of my comfort zone. So just something a little bit more than you would
Right.
normally do, something like that. So
Mhm.
that is January to April, and that's the first one. So yeah.
Yeah. And I also related to taking it up a notch. So I've done stranded color work, but I'll explain on my two WIP projects. Well, one that's color work. A new to me technique last year was the ladder back jacquard technique, which is a technique for dealing with really long floats. And it's very clever. And actually there's, videos, pretty easy to pick up. And in the chat thread for that first quarter make along, I'll post links to that ladder back jacquard technique. And if you're new, like if color work is new to you, try mosaic knitting, because that's you don't have to strand, and it's probably a little bit easier, and you don't have to deal with long floats. You're only knitting with one color per row or per round, and the rest are slip stitches. So it looks like stranded color work. It looks amazing when you're finished, but it's not quite so difficult. So yeah, color work is our first theme.
Yeah. Did you want to go on? Did you want to tell about the second?
Sure. The second theme, May to August, we decided on lace. Because we're getting like definitely in the summer months, and you might be knitting something light and fresh for summertime, whether it's a shawl or even like a one of those little cotton beach hats that are lacy.
Oh,
I love those. Yeah. Or a beach cover up. So anything that is lace, and that can be, the easiest is the yarn over, knit two together.
Now,
It doesn't have to be a big fancy,
shawl.
shawl that's full lace.
Now, if you wanted
Mhm.
to, there's a nice sweater I saw that has the feather and fan across the top here.
Mhm.
So that means that
Yeah.
could be part of your sweater along for the year and for the lace.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Even socks. So there are a lot of sock patterns that have a little bit of lace or feather and fan. There's one by Tracy Miller that I've knit that's just, not difficult, and it's a sock. And definitely if you're trying lace for the first time, even if it's super simple lace, lifelines are your best friend. Put them in every so many rows. If you have the rest row in between your lace pattern, that's a perfect place to weave that lifeline through after a rest row. And then if you do, because dropping stitches can be impossible depending on the lace pattern. So yeah, it's good to have a lifeline. And again, we'd be happy to help with pattern suggestions or advice, tips and tricks, whatever you need.
Talk to Dawn. I'm not a big lace girl.
Well,
This is out of my comfort zone, so I'll have to.
I haven't done a ton. I've done a few things, but definitely I learned the hard way after tearing out lace on a shawl, like a long rectangular shawl. It wasn't even a wide section, but I tore back like 3 times, and then someone said, "Well, try a lifeline," and I hadn't even heard of a lifeline. This was way like probably 9 years ago. So lifelines and stitch markers, especially for keeping track of repeats. Stitch markers.
I do that for everything, like color work, cables, everything. If there's a repeat, there's a stitch mark. So yeah.
Yeah.
So do you want me to say about the next one?
Yeah.
Okay, so from September to December, we're doing cables or twisted stitches. So more of a texture there, which kind of goes with the winter theme. So that can be anything, like, we've said socks, shawl, hat, mitts, scarf, sweater, pants if you want. Yeah. Yeah, so that's I don't know, I'm kind of looking forward to that. But the one thing I wanted to make sure, because if you do a color work or a lace or a cable and it's a sweater, you can enter it in both.
Yep.
Okay. I just want to make sure that that's clear, that you can enter it in as your sweater and enter it in as your new to you technique. So yeah, that's going to be, I think that'll be good. Maybe we'll all learn something this year.
Yeah. And cables, if you want to try it on a sock, Socks on a Plane is a free pattern, and it has one cable that runs down the length of the sock. So, it's not too much of a commitment. It's just one cable, and it looks fantastic. So, yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's wow. That was the administration done pretty fast.
That's yeah, good. We're on a roll. What's been happening? What's new? What's new with you?
Not really that much, I hate to say it.
No?
Um, we were pretty much snowed in like crazy for Christmas.
Yeah.
My parents were here. That was nice. Pretty quiet. Well, I shouldn't say that. We found out that girl child has an allergy to penicillin or to
Yes.
amoxicillin. And then the following week, she fell down the stairs and landed on, we have granite flagstone. So she landed on the granite head first and she had a moderate concussion.
Oh gee.
So that has been my Christmas.
Well, nothing serious happened during ours. We just were very low key. I did a crap ton of jigsaw puzzles.
I saw that
We
on
just
Instagram. That was
that's
crazy.
my thing. We always do that at or my mom and I always did jigsaw
Right.
puzzles, and I love them, and I have several favorite ones. But that was mostly what was under my Christmas tree was a couple of new really nice jigsaw puzzles. So I've posted pictures in my Instagram if you are
Yep.
looking for some jigsaw puzzle suggestions.
Oh,
Yeah.
they were good.
Over the Christmas holidays, so one of our winners from our last episode, Sarah, who lives in Sarnia, she decided she came by my house to pick up her prize, and she dropped off, and Lisa got one too. She dropped off this little gnome ornament that she made. Isn't it adorable? So
It's
there's like
awesome.
twine for the string for the hanger, and it's felt that's just
Little button.
twisted in a cone. Yeah, a couple buttons, a little nose, and like a tassel for his beard. I love
You
it.
know what? They're beautiful. They're so creative. I loved it.
Yeah,
Thank you so much,
yeah. So
Sarah.
thanks, Sarah. That was really sweet. Yeah, there's so many little things you can knit for just little easy little gifts or
Mhm.
gift tags or whatever you want. That's not even knit. That's just a craft. A very
Right?
like yeah. What else? I didn't do anything. Yeah, I didn't do anything exciting. I did No, I am going. Well, I did go to a stitch in day in Peel, but that was before our last episode, so I
Yeah.
probably talked about it. I am going to another one. This one's in Hamilton. It's put on by a different stitcher, Crafty Kim on Instagram, if you're a cross stitcher or needle worker.
I love some
Um,
of these names. Crafty Kim.
Crafty Kim, she is very crafty. So this is one day, at a community center in Hamilton, potluck. It's a lot of fun. I've gone to some of her stitchings in the past. So weather had better be good next weekend because I really want to go to that.
Oh, driving, right?
Yeah, yeah. Although I usually there's a couple friends. Like I'm the furthest of people I know like that can carpool with, but usually there's a couple people. A few times we've
In
met up
London.
at a park and ride, and it's worked out great.
Well,
So
that's good then.
yeah, just hope the weather's
It's just
cooperating.
that 402 is such a conundrum.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Those are all the exciting things happening.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah. What are you wearing, Lisa?
I am wearing my test knit. It's Eirlys. It's a new pattern by Laura Reinbach. I love her patterns. I've test knitted for her before. Sleeves have it, and it's kind of a slip stitch pattern. So I haven't done a lot of slip stitches incorporated into other things. Do you know what I mean? Like I've done, scarves and whatnot, but this here was a learning experience because I naturally have to go up a needle size, usually a half or a full, depending on gauge. So I went up a needle size here, and then I knit all the way to here, and I had to rip it all out because it was normal here, and then it just sucked in right here. I was at your house when, remember, we ripped it out, and it was normal here, and then it sucked in here. So I actually had to go up a half needle size to do the regular, and then I had to go up a needle size. So that was like a needle and a half size bigger than my regular knitting because I'm tight. So I mean, we don't care what needle you use as long as you get gauge. That's kind of the way I look at it. But yeah, it was
Yeah.
all the way. And then with the way my week at Christmas was, I kind of got behind. And yeah, but she extended it, and I love it. I made it with Kelbourne Woolens Scout, which is really quite nice. I have. It's got really good stitch definition,
Mm.
but it's got a nice halo and it's super soft, super, super soft, but it's not super wash. Um, I use color 34 Graphite Heather, and the purple color, which I'll bring this a little bit closer so you can kind of
Oh yeah.
see how it's got like light gray and purple. Yeah, so that one there is actually a Spincycle yarn and it's called Verses, and it only has the two
Hmm.
colors mixed in, and they have a whole bunch of different colors. It kind of does like the marling for you. And that's in Forgive, Forget. And I bought that. I bought the Scout from Little Red Mitten
Hmm.
a while ago, and I bought. It's a pretty gray. I had to get a sweater quantity, and then and then I got the Verses from the Knitting Loft.
Nice. Yeah.
Have that. What are
And
you wearing?
I'm wearing, we coordinate because mine's purple.
I know, right?
I'm wearing my super simple summer sweater by Joji Locatelli. It's from a few years ago, but I just felt like throwing it on today. It's a good day for a sweater.
Okay, so
This is their,
I have to tell you
what?
something. I just cleaned up my computer and I was listening to a certain, because it just had an audio file, so I listened to it, and it was the file of you when you made that sweater.
Oh, really? Aw.
So I was kind of laughing. I'm like,
Well, this is one of those super simple patterns. If you're looking for a first sweater to knit, mine wouldn't, I didn't use the summery yarn. I used, it's a wool and cotton blend. It's their Peruvian wool and cotton that, oh, sorry, Leo and Roxy, which they're not restocking. I don't think they're carrying it anymore. I think they have cleared it out. And this was one of the dyed colorways. So I think it was called Amethyst. And it has a very heathery look because of the blend of the yarns. So I just love it. It needs a bad depilling really bad. There's like big clumps hanging off of it, but I love it. And it's just a simple raglan yoke. Great fit for anyone. It's very comfy.
with the yoke being the way it is, it's actually very versatile.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying that yes, it's simple for your first sweater, but it's also a sweater you could very easily change and customize as you
Mm-hmm.
go along. Do you know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
her, like well, you made it one color instead of stripes.
Right.
You could do so much more, right? Like if you
Yeah.
count the stitches, you could do color work with it, or you could
Mm-hmm.
just even do like different yarns mixed together. So yes, it's
Yeah.
a really good first sweater, but it's
Mm-hmm.
also a very good customizable as you continue on sweater. So yeah,
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the fit was great. The pattern, like it's got a lot of good sizing options, and yeah, the fit was great. I just trusted the pattern.
I did the
And with
same
the,
one.
yeah,
So
yeah. Did you do stripes or did you do plain?
no,
You
I
did
did plain gray.
plain.
Remember we
Yeah.
went into into Little Red Mitten and they had like this. They had the same yarn done in a gray.
Yes. So that's what we're wearing. So yours is an FO.
Yeah,
Do you have other FOs today?
I do have an FO, but I don't have it. I don't have it with me, and I don't have a picture.
Okay. But can you get a picture?
Yeah, I'll get a picture. We can put it in. I'll show you
Okay.
quickly what it is. It is the Fornafit
Oh yeah.
with the color work, and it is by. I'm going to try this. Dagbjorn Gunmund Dotter. Yeah, sorry if I really messed that up. I don't know how. If
Good
you could tell me, that would be great. Um, yeah,
Goodman's daughter, right? We'll put it
yeah,
in all the details
Gunmund.
down below.
Yeah. So the yarn I used was for the main color was Rauma garn, and it was color 405, which is like a medium gray.
Mm-hmm. You use the Finull base, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And then for the color work, I actually used Marie Wallin's British Breeds, and the colors are raw and silver birch.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you can send it to me and I can put it up. Oh yeah. Oh, it fits her really well.
Yeah. So, I should talk about that. So my mom ordered the yarn, and she told me she was a certain size, and I thought, okay, fine. But before I started the sweater, I thought, you know what? One of the things I try to do if I knit for someone else is to measure them. because it would break my heart to spend all that time, because it was fingering, all that time making it and they can't get it on, or it's too big and they won't wear it. So I took her measurements and made the size alterations, and yeah, it fits her really, really well. So I think she's happy with it. She says she's happy with it.
It looks good.
It looks really good. She wore it all the whole time she was here. She's so yeah.
Well, I have a couple FOs. Last episode I had my Santa socks were a WIP. So this is Sooty Santa by Timber Yarns. And I used one of their, I think it's the same red that is dyed in the marl. I used red and little black and
Okay, so
charcoal, not black, charcoal.
you changed both of the cuffs, right?
Yeah.
Because you talked about
Yeah.
Okay, I will tell you that I thought the other color was okay until you changed it to that one, and now I really see the difference. It looks much better that way.
I had started with a different red on the cuff in the last episode, and then I found a little mini skein of a slightly different red from Timber Yarns, and it just looked better. The other one was a tiny bit brighter.
Yeah.
So I reknit the cuff and grafted it to the marl, the first marl section, which was not as hard as you'd think. I could have done it bottom up, but I didn't want to. So
new technique.
Yeah. So a red and the charcoal. Licorice is my favorite. And that's her darkest gray. So yeah, so licorice. And then also for the heels, and then I did the stripe again on the toes. So this is Timber Yarns marl base, which this year she has like marl mania planned.
She dropped one off at my house. It's like a dark marl, like licorice and marl. I was like, oh.
Yes. Yeah. So she's got some marls coming up. Like definitely if you want to follow her, there's going to be, different colors. Some will be multicolors and yeah. And some like this one with the red, but it'll have a different color for the stripes.
Well,
so
mine
keep
is
an eye on
like that. Mine's like that, but where the red is, it's licorice. So I think
that might be coming out. Yes, that's your jam. Yeah. I have another FO. This is the FO that I started January 31st, 2021. So here we go. I have a pair of
I love those. Those are so cute.
Yeah, they are. They're the Fair Isle flower socks. It's a free pattern. And did I write down who it's by?
Okay, you know what? You talk about them. I'll look it up.
Okay. So it's the Fair Isle flower socks. And this is it was a Christmas set from Polka Dot Creek Yarns. So the main was called Vintage Christmas, and I have lots left. And it came with 2 minis, and I have lots of that left. So, I just bumped my phone. There you go. There, I'm back. So this one was called Moss, and then this color is called Brick.
Fair Isle Flower Sock by Candice DeWitt.
Thank you.
No.
So I've got enough there to make another pair. So yeah, so I did the, I skipped, there's a bit of just dots at the top of the color work chart. I skipped it and went straight to the stripes. And then I repeated the stripe just before the toe.
Now, you know what? Those colors would look good as shorties with heels and toes too.
Totally. Yeah. And they're not necessarily just Christmas colors. Like these make me think of a garden too.
They do.
Yeah. And what else was I going to say? Oh, I did go up in needle size for the color work. I went from a 2.25 to a 2.5 just to make sure that I get them over my heel. And then my cuff is my usual 2x2 rib, and I just cable every 5th row is a cable row of the knit stitches. So that's it.
So you say cable, but it's just the 2 switched. Just the 2.
Well, it's a cable. It's just that it's a 1x1 cable, right? Yeah. So that's the simplest cable you can do. So yeah, it's this was a really fun project, and that's all I have to say about that. Okay, those are done. Do you want me to keep going?
Go ahead. Yeah.
I have a couple. I have one more pair of socks. So these were a WIP in the last episode too. So I finished my Mally socks. I got the matchy. How's that? Look at that.
Perfect. Now, how would that weight work on your crank? Pretty good.
Yeah, should. I'm not sure. I'd have to test to see which cylinders like fabric I like the best. So yeah, it would. It's a fingering, but it's probably more like a croy. And I did these on a bigger needle. I used a 2.75 millimeter needle, and I did fewer stitches. I think I did 56 on these. So yeah. Okay, so and I have a 54 stitch cylinder too.
And don't forget to mention where you got it, because we always get that question after you show Mally.
Yes. This is the Furner wool Mally sock. So it's an Austrian yarn, and this was one of last year's Valentine's colorways. And we did mention in the last episode, there are a couple of places in Canada that you can get it. One of them is Heaven to Knit, which is just an online yarn shop. And the other one is it Midnight Cravings maybe that carries it? I'll put them in the list down below. They don't carry all the colors, but it can be really hard to find an order. Like you can kind of search for it and find some German websites that are tricky, but the shipping is a nightmare. So the Valentine's ones in 2022, I actually got from Heaven to Knit. And I got some of the 2022 Christmas colors from her as well. She brought in a few of those. So it's very soft yarn. It is a merino with nylon, and the balls are 150 grams. So you can do, 2 pairs of socks, or a really good, like, especially if you have to knit for someone with really big feet, you got a lot of yarn there.
Do you know what I keep trying to think of to do with mine is I want to do a short sleeve sweater and then pick up on the inside and have them come down.
That would look so good.
And not so they look like, just so it looks like you know how you have a t-shirt and then you put the ribbing, flip the ribbing back, pick up, and then go down.
Yeah, pick up just behind it so that you have a bit of an edge. Yeah, great idea.
Maybe I'll do that for this year-long sweater alone. I'll add it to the list.
Maybe. Yeah, good idea. And then I had some sock tubes that were the gauge is a little bit big for my feet, so I thought, okay, I'm on some circular sock knitting machine groups on Facebook, and there's a lot of things you can do with a circular sock knitting machine. So I saw these twisted headbands, which are also appearing now for knitting in Ravelry. In the CSM world, it's called the taco fold headband. So basically I made 3 headbands. So this was a Mally sock Christmas yarn from 2022.
That one's pretty.
And it looks huge when I hold it up. So yeah, you just cut your sock tube and you have to sew the ends together. So the seam, you can just see there's a seam on the back, and you just flip it out and you've got a headband. And I did one, this is another yarn I cranked. So I did one, this is where the little bow tie is. It looks like a little bow tie. And then this is an older tube that I actually paid to have cranked. And it's a lot of fun.
Very loud.
It is. It's called Paris Nightclub. It was by Sonia, Blue Water Fiber Arts here in Sarnia. I don't think if she's still dyeing, it's probably just fiber. So if you're a spinner, you could see if she's still actively dyeing. I don't know for sure if she is, but I just love this color. So basically all you do, and you can do it if you knit flat. I'm just going to grab a tube here, Lisa, to show how it's done.
So the one thing I find about the Christmas one is really, really like the colors are really bright compared to the other ones.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so basically you would have a tube, and this is probably almost the right length to make. Yeah, look at that. I could make another one. So you'd have a tube, and it's got 2 open ends. So you sew these together, or you could, I guess, just weave your yarn around so it doesn't unravel, because you're going to be stitching it together anyway. I did Kitchener them together to close them.
I would have done it 3
and then yeah, I did that on one of them. And then all you do is just you fold it in half. Okay, you bring the ends together and you turn one side, and now you've got your opening on opposite sides. So they look like little tacos, and you nest them together. Okay. So you stick one inside the other and you sew. You just take your long end and just sew it together. And then when you flip it out, you've got your headband with the little loop.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So you can do this with the sock tube, or so if you've bought some yarn dye tubes that you can purchase, you can, if you make a pair of socks and have leftover, because from a full 100-gram skein, you could do that easily. So you could do it with the tube. You could do it you could knit flat. So there are patterns where you just knit flat, and same thing. It's just not a tube.
And you know what? It might, the other thing is you could do it like in a seed stitch or a garter stitch that is the same or reversible in any way.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I mean, you're still going to have, one side as your right side.
Yeah.
So yeah, so there are patterns. I'll put a link to a couple of them that you can make on Ravelry, but if you just search on the keywords, just search on headband or search on twist and headband, and there's one that'll pop up right away. And there's videos on YouTube just to show you how to sew the sides together. It's super simple, and what a quick and easy way to make a headband.
Right.
So I made a couple headbands that will probably go into my charity pile.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah. Those are all my FOs. Yes.
Very cool.
Have you got, what's on the needles right now?
I have, and I've already made one of these. I made one for my mom, but my husband's cousin, she's wonderful. She asked me to knit one, and I hate when people ask me, because I don't knit for people I don't love. And it's one of those things where people don't understand the cost of yarn. So I said to her, sure, but it's cashmere and this is what it is. And she said, fine, whatever. I think she emailed me the money like 2 hours later or the same day. So I'm making another one of these, and it's done with the Cardiff cashmere. This is like a marl.
What's it called? What's the name of the pattern?
It's a Spurts by Amy Miller, which I've done in the past. E-Perts. Yeah. It's basically stripes backwards.
Right.
Stripe backwards. So it's a great hat. It's only got your garter stitch at the end and then stocking stitch. And this yarn is it's heavenly. It's so nice. 100% cashmere. Got it at Knitting Loft. And if you actually look on their website, they have so many colors that it comes in. And it's quite
I noted in my last one, your color is number 690, New York, it's called.
Yeah, it's called New York.
And again, that's the Cardiff Cashmere Classic, because I interrupted you.
That's okay. The Cashmere Classic. So yeah.
And,
the one thing I love about it is because there's no ribbing and it's a really light fabric, it doesn't mess your hair up that much when you take it off. Well, there we go.
Yeah.
So
so to make that E-Perts hat, Lisa, how many balls did you have to buy?
That's kind of a trick, because you have to order 2 balls, but because my mom she had the smaller hat, she had enough left over.
Okay.
So I have enough to make myself one after this one, because you need 1.5. Okay. This is the larger size, which means she needed one, I think it's 1 3/4 or something like that. So which really, I mean, it's an expensive hat, yes. Does it feel like heaven? Yes. I think they're like $24.95 per skein.
Is it 25 or 50 gram balls?
25 grams.
Okay. Yeah. So the Knitting Loft has, at least twice a year, they have 20% off sales.
Right.
So you could just wait and get some when there's a sale. I
mean, the other trick is if you find somebody with the same size head that likes the same color, just buy 3 instead of 2 each. Right.
And then you won't have leftovers. Yeah. Speaking of cashmere, then I saw that the Knitting Loft recently posted, they now have a cashmere that is 50% new virgin cashmere and 50%
Yeah,
reclaimed cashmere.
right.
So a little bit lower price point and a lot of nice colors. So that's another option too, is to you know, or a cashmere blend. A cashmere blend. Honestly, I've had yarns with even just 10% cashmere in them.
You know what?
And wow, they're fantastic. Yeah.
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 It's just, you know what, sometimes you gotta have that little bit, right?
Well, and that was a special gift. It was a gift for your mom, and your cousin, you said, is paying for the yarn, so that's her choice.
I don't mind. I don't mind knitting with it. It's like, ooh, it's so soft.
Yes, I got to feel it when Lisa was here in December, and it's amazing.
So it looks good.
Cool.
Though. So I'll
do you have any other WIPs?
This week. I do. Did you want to talk about one? Because I only have two.
Okay. Sure. I have. Okay, this is a really fun WIP. I started this in December, but it was actually kind of a Christmas or winter release colorway. But I think it was just fun, and I could do it anytime. So I had ordered the wrong tag. Here it is. Rose. I kept seeing it inside my bag. Rose Hill Yarns. Holiday Peppermint. I'd ordered the DK last year, so I had it in my stash. She did release it again this year. So I ordered the DK, and it's got red and hot pink and light pink and little flashes of turquoise in there. There's some turquoise. Nice. And it came with a mini skein in that sort of turquoise color, aquoise. And I ordered her mini skein set with sort of coordinating colors because I wanted this hot pink because I did a colorwork sock. So nice. This is the beginning of a sock pattern from the Scraptacular Socks, and that is by Carly Perrins. And the Scraptacular Socks is actually a 3 sock pattern set. Oh, nice. So this one is the agate sock. And this pattern like carries on. So you could use scraps, you could use mini skeins, whatever, if you want to knit the whole sock. I just did this little 3 color bit. So the cuff is in that dark pink. And then I had a DK grab bag from Yarn Indulgences that happened to have this real bubblegum pink. And an aquoise that I used because it's just a little bit darker than the one that came with the set. And I wanted it to really pop against the pink, right? So yeah, I did that little motif, and then I was going to do the whole rest of the sock just in the main color, but I thought, no, I like the toe. I could, I was going to repeat this down by the toe, and then I thought, like, it's already kind of loud and crazy to begin with, and I thought maybe I'll just take it down a little notch. So I just did the hot pink in the toe. So yeah, they're a DK sock. I used 48 stitches on I used a 3mm needle for the color work and then a 2.75. So the 48 stitches worked with the repeat in this pattern. So, because it was written for fingering weight. So I have one sock done, and I have to cast on the second one. DK socks go so fast. And you know what, for winter, and like when I'm working at home, my office is really cold. Instead of turning up the heat on the whole house for the day, I have a little space heater, but my toes get cold. So DK socks are just a little warmer than fingering weight. Right. So that's fun. And then look, it's coordinating in my hot cocoa bag. Oh, I love it. I showed in the last episode that I had ordered the Advent Sundays sets box from Legacy Fiber Arts. Yep. So I hadn't opened them all in the last episode.
I tried. I tried to convince you, but you wouldn't open it.
I actually didn't peek. So I think I had opened this one, which was Christmas Past, right? And I might have opened the next one, and now I can't remember what order they came in, but this was Christmas Present. I love this. Look at all the colors. Oh my goodness. And then there was Christmas. Nope, this one's called Scrooge. This is a really pretty one with that pearl gray and then sort of the plums and mauves and pinks. And then this was Christmas Future. So it was a dark purpley blue and a variegated light blue, purple, pink. Can you hear her? So then people can, that's my cat. One moment. So to carry on. So I did another pattern from the Scraptacular sock set. This was called the fairy ring pattern. And so again, this little color work motif goes all the way through the sock, and you can use different colors. And so I just did two with I did a 1x1 twisted rib cuff. I didn't change anything up on the heel. And then I repeated it before the toe and did the toe in the mini skein. So
I love it. It's beautiful.
They're super cute. And yeah, because this was only a 50 gram skein, so I didn't make it too high of a leg. Yeah. So Legacy Fiber Arts just does beautiful, beautiful speckled and variegated yarn. I find it's very evenly and consistently dyed for the skein. Yeah. So those were all a surprise. Every Sunday in Advent, you got to open one, and they're beautiful. Do you have another WIP?
I do. I have my dad's sweater, which was supposed to be done at Christmas, but you know what? You heard about my Christmas. So I am I'm doing the knitting pure and simple Henley neck down pullover for men. And this is the third time I've knit it for my father, but it fits him really well. And he always picks like fat yarn. So it's like, yay. And he always wears a dress shirt underneath it. So just a quickie. That's what it looks like when it's done. Mm-hmm. So here is the color. It's green. It's actually a really rich green. I can't really.
Oh yeah.
Hard color to.
Back it up a little wee bit. Kind of right there. Yeah. You can kind of see. It's like a dark forest green.
It's like a really dark forest green. So there's the opening. It'll have 3 buttons. I actually ordered the buttons from. For my dad from Etsy. He picked them out. They're like real vintage leather buttons.
Oh, nice.
The little woven leather on the top. So yeah, right? And I just think it'll look so good against this color. But I'm going to bring it really close so you can see. There's the color. Can you see the color there?
Yeah. Oh, right there. Yeah.
There's my hair. Look at that. That's free. So yeah. So it's just really pretty. So if you get the brown buttons, they'll go really good with some of the. And it's done with the, as I throw it on the floor, because I'm connected to it. I did it actually with the Studio Donegal wool spinning company. So yeah, that's them again. I'm in love with that yarn though. It's so nice. I have the gray sweater I made out of the same stuff. I wear it all the time.
Do you know the color of that one? I might have written it down last time.
Oh,
B3757.
Yeah.
I wrote it down last episode.
Yeah, I meant to ask you because I don't have any more tags.
And where did you buy that yarn?
I actually bought that from Karberry Farms, which is the same place I bought the gray from my mom. Like, well, my parents purchased it. I was just the some assembly required. Because basically, so for Christmas, I make them a sweater. And they pick out the yarn and they pick out whatnot. And they ordered the gray for her sweater and the green from Karberry Farm, which I've ordered from them before, and it was great. The only funny thing is my mom picked out 2 colors to go with hers on her sweater. And I just when I was in knitting Loft, I saw the Mary Wallin, and they just work so much better. So yeah. But yeah,
Karberry Farms was at Woolstock in Paris, weren't they?
And they were at Kitchener, and they were at Barrie, and I think I've something from them every time I see them.
Okay.
So yeah,
they carry a lot of nice non-superwash yarns.
Yes, a lot of them are brought in from, like, they have a lot brought in from Ireland. They have a lot brought in from other in Europe. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So
I like that one. That's really pretty.
I can't remember if I showed this in episode 60, but I think I showed it in 59. So I started it in the summer. This is my Avena sweater by Jenn Steingass. And I'm done the color work.
That looks amazing.
I love it, love it, love it. So I bought this yarn at Wolesley Wool in Manitoba last summer, and it is Katia Concept Linum, which is 70% cotton, 20% linen, and 10% polyamide. And I believe it is a recycled linen. So that's the label. And I believe the blue is color 58, and the it's not white, it's more like a natural creamy winter white color is color 50. Nice. So here's the blue. It's a chainette, so you can kind of see right there. Hey,
pretty.
So it's a lumpy bumpy texture, which makes these stitches look kind of lumpy bumpy right now, but I am going to wash and spray, or at least spray and steam block it, and they'll probably lay a little flatter. It's so cozy, Lisa. I just can't wait to have this done now. I want to wear it. Yeah, it's lovely. So I've got the sleeves on, and I'm done probably a good 4 inches below the armpit.
Oh, there you go. You're doing really well then. You're moving.
Yeah. On. Well, I mean, it's a worsted gauge, right? So this is knitting like really fast.
That's good.
So earlier when we talked about color work and new techniques, this is the second sweater where I use the jacquard ladder back technique for stranding. So there are some excellent videos, and I'll post a link to the video down below, and I'll also I'll make a post about it in our Ravelry group for the knit along. But basically it's a method where when you have a really long float, like you can see when I'm down to the end of my color work, right? It was something like a 10 or 12 stitch run. And it's a method where you actually are knitting the color that you're stranding. You knit, it's like double knitting. So you're knitting it up behind your main color. So it's not attached. And then when you're done, you've done your last stranded row, that stitch of the opposite color, you just do a knit two together, and your main color will be in front, and like you can't see it at all behind there. So in behind, it's kind of hard to show, but here it is right here. You can see there's a little ladder of these stitches knit in behind that aren't attached. So these were all long floats, but they're knit to each other and not attached to the blue. And then you just will knit it together when you're done. Yeah.
That just went off. Like that. Like just went.
When you watch the video, you get it. So there's a method you do, like by moving your yarn so that you don't accidentally knit them together. But as you go, you knit it. It is fantastic, and it is excellent where you have high contrast. Like if you were doing black and white and you didn't, especially when your main is white and you don't want to see that black strand in behind, because sometimes if you catch the floats, if your fabric's pulled, you can see it. So I think I didn't do that until I kind of got up to about eight stitches per float. Because it's a sweater, I'm not worried about, mittens or toes or anything, or fingers or toes like you have in mittens or socks.
And it's
just the really
it's an adult sweater too. So
but because I knew how to do it from my gold wing, I thought I'm going to do it for these last few rounds where the floats get longer and longer. So again, Jenn Steingass, Avena, and I love it.
I love that
so
one.
That's
you have to remember to move the thing over.
What thing?
The pattern.
Yes. So it's I had to pay attention, and I did mark what row I was on, because you're still working, because they move diagonally, you're still working on one fern and starting the next one. So then you just to keep track of where you're at. But it wasn't awful.
But it's still like the chart she gives you is rectangle, right?
Yeah, it's just a column. Like it's only
so you're still following that pattern, but you don't have to move it across. It does it on the graph. Okay.
Each row up on the chart shifts. So you just follow the chart. It's just that if you're, and you can read the knitting below, but there's a lot of rows where the counts are similar, like the The fern is the same size, if that makes sense.
Yep.
So mark what row you're on.
Yeah. No, because I have that pattern. I just haven't looked at it. It was one of those, oh, that's pretty. And I was wondering if you had to, because it's odd for her to have, because usually they're pretty, but there's a lot more movement in that one.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Because it shifts, but it shifts in the chart. So you don't have to think about that. You just have to know what row you're on. Yeah.
Perfect.
So I love it. And then, am I on my last one? Because it's a lovely one. After our last episode, I cast on Little Oysters by Hinterm Stein. So my sister Marianne and I both decided to do this sweater. And just coincidentally, we're both doing it in pink, but in very different shades of pink. So this is where I am so far. And you can see the little oysters. They're just little, they're not baubles, they're elongated.
Okay.
Like a nut, whatever you want to call it.
That looks good.
Yeah.
Texture,
so,
right?
Yeah, here's the color. It looked washed out up close. This is the color. So these yarns, I saw a post by Frankie Gray Fibers of these two yarns together. And I thought, okay, I got to order that. That was before I knew I was going to use them in this sweater, but I had to order. So I ordered 4 of each of the Halo is the color in her fingering weight, which is an 80/20. And you can see it's got some shades of pink in there. Back it up there. Okay. And then the mohair is gorgeous. This color is Pinch Me. And yeah, you can kind of see right there. It's got a gold shine to it.
Nice.
Yes. So it picks up this goldness and it's got a sheen. It's amazing. So I'm holding them together and this is the result.
That's pretty.
Yes. Really pretty. Thank you. I love it. I am helical knitting because it is hand dye, right? And once I decided what sweater I wanted to make, I thought, okay, I'm probably gonna, with the 4 skeins I had, I think for my size, I would have had like just enough for what the pattern calls for, but I tend to like my sweaters a bit longer. So I contacted Frankie Gray Fibers and asked because they didn't have any in stock. So I asked if they would be dyeing more. And I explained that, I'd ordered 4, but I think I'm going to need 1 more. I'm okay on the mohair because it has more yardage. And so I know it's Jody and her daughter. I'm not sure which one responded, but someone responded and said that they would dye it, but beware, it would be a different dye lot. And yeah, and I said, like, absolutely, I'm aware of that. I'm expecting that. I'm already helical knitting, and I'll blend it in. So that 5th skein that I ordered, when it came in, they did an amazing job. It is such a close match to the other ones because I'm holding it with mohair and helical knitting,
you'll never notice.
Like I mixed them up. You can't even tell which skein is the new skein.
Oh, that's good then.
So I just love it. And do I have anything more to say about that other than I'm helical knitting? I'm past the armpits, kind of almost, look at this, almost in the same spot as the blue one. It's going to be so cozy.
The color looks
and
really nice.
Marianne's is more like a really pretty light, like a petal pink. It's really pretty. And I think she's done hers. So, because I was waiting on more yarn once I decided what yarn.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I was waiting on more yarn, so she got started. And okay, I have to just put a plug in for Evertotes. I don't know if she still has this bag in her shop, but I mean, look how well it coordinates with these little pink on the birds.
I love it.
So this is the Evertotes shop. And yeah, I just love the birds. It's too big. It's getting too big for this bag. So, but it was perfect for a while. While I was ordering, because who wants to pay shipping on 1 skein of yarn, right? So I ordered a few more things from Frankie Gray, and I'll just show them quickly because they are really cute. I ordered some of her chunky weight, for hats or something, right? But
that's pretty.
This is called Amber Dashery. It's 100% superwash merino. I just like, it's beautiful. Yeah. So I like these kind of teals and
it's
so beautiful. I ordered that. And then this looked really cute too. So this is called Winter in New York.
Oh, okay.
And I think these two could complement each other.
They could actually.
Yeah, because there is some bluey greens in there, right? So
cool.
they were just so beautiful. So I ordered those. And then I did order a fingering weight. Now, this was called Onyx. And on the shop picture, it was very, very, very dark. And I wanted like a dark, almost black, just to knit some plain socks. So it's a bit lighter than I thought. But you can never have too many. That's what I think. It does have just a bit of a, maybe it's because I'm wearing purple. I don't know. It doesn't look purple when you put it up against my sweater, but it does. But you can't have too many dark grays in your stash, right, Lisa? So this is Onyx, and just like I said, it was not the super dark. It almost looked black on the shop picture. This one's not quite that dark. So I want some solid socks this year.
That's the Frankie fibers?
Frankie gray fiber.
Yeah.
So that's Jody Brown of the Grocery Girls, Jody and her daughter.
Okay.
And I'm telling you, they have a color sense that is up there, like top notch. And they've just released a bunch of tonals. Like just this week, they posted a bunch of tonals I saw on Instagram. And today I saw a post where they've got a combination of 4 colors that go together.
Yeah.
So that's really smart, because if you're looking for colors to put together for a color work project, they're giving some suggestions of, hey, this combo looks great, and it might just totally float your boat. And there you go. You don't even have to work hard to figure out what colors to use. So beautiful. And they've done color grouping. So they'll have like a group of pinks, and it's there's probably like 6 or 7 different shades.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really a really amazing, extensive selection of colors in those tonals.
So check it out.
Yeah,
I like that one.
Nice yarn, really nice. I'm so happy, and I'm just loving those pinks. I'm telling you, that rose gold. I'm trying to think if I had anything else. I guess nothing really pressing.
I ordered some stuff from the knitting loft. It was a gray sweater quantity of the Knitting for Olive in the worsted weight. Yeah, it's a merino. And the reason I ordered was because I was running out of cables, like short, because I like to do 2 at a time. The really long cables are so hard to find sometimes. So they had so I bought a couple of cables, and I bought a sweater quantity in that. But the reason I even went on their website is because I put in, one of those notices when, hey, if this is back in stock, let me know. So I actually.
I've never seen that book.
Well, I looked at it, and you know how you it's a sequence knitting, simple methods for creating complex fibers, and it's by Cecilia Campacciario. So it's huge. And part of the reason I bought it was it's showing on Amazon that it's like $150.
Wow.
And it was like, I think it was like 60 from Knitting Loft, which is still, it's a good chunk of money for a book. But but
that's probably got a ton of information in it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And what it does is, the one thing that I like is it shows you the front side and the back side. Right? Because that's something that. Yeah.
And the stitch count for the repeat, so you can make it any. Yeah,
like it's got like the little square colored in at the bottom. So it's kind of and it shows you one of the really cool textures on the front. So so I thought
that's cool.
I've been looking at it for a while, and every time I go in, it's sold out. So I got the email.
Well, speaking of books, so that's actually a good reminder and a good segue. With a group of friends that I knit with, we were talking about books one night, and there's a book that I've had on my radar. I think it came out recently. Summer of 2022, August. So it's a publication by Lina magazines, I believe.
Okay.
And it's called Salt and Timber Knits from the Northern Coast.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a collection of 14 patterns, all by the designer Lindsay Fowler, who is Larkspur Knits.
Okay.
So, 15 patterns. So there's sweater, mittens, toque, socks. What else is in here? And there's a beautiful shawl, but what caught my eye and a few other people is this blanket called the Culmination Blanket. And I'm just going to blow this up. Here's a picture.
That's beautiful.
I believe it's Aran weight.
Mm-hmm.
And I love how the squares just have those eyelet design in it.
Mm-hmm.
So you could do this in any weight of yarn and make your squares as big as you want, or make more of them to make a bigger blanket. I just love it. I haven't bought the blanket yet, or the book yet, because I thought when I'm ready to actually knit a blanket, if I still am in 6 months, then I can buy it then. But that also led to a conversation about other blankets. So similarly, Cozy Up Knits did an Advent
for their
blanket, and I think it was a fingering, and so it was set up for your Advent sets, right? Yeah. And it's very similar. It's squares, and it's called the Creative Advent Row, and that's by the Cozy Up Knit Sisters. And I'm just going to find, there's a picture of one that they did in like tweed yarns. So they partnered with the Creative Knitter for a collaboration on yarn sets. And this is one of the ones that the girls knit in all different, there, can you see it? Tweed colors. Oh, I'm getting a reflection. Oh, it's so gorgeous. So so same idea, right? And the neat thing is there's different textures in these squares. They're not all the same.
Yeah.
So if you even had a different, like, I'd love to do a worsted weight blanket. So I thought, I could get more, maybe I could do more than one square per color and just use up stash, because I have so many single skeins in my stash. So those two blankets on that square theme, I thought were really neat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. So that's kind of caught my eye lately, is these blankets with squares. And there was a moment where I thought, we should do a blanket knit along for the year. I won't knit all the things, and I certainly won't finish one in a year.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I think that's all I have, Lisa.
That's all I have.
All right. Well, remember to join in our new knit alongs for this year, make alongs, because I believe any of them you could do in crochet as well. Yeah. So year-longs.
If you do it in crochet, you have to explain how the crochet technique ties in with the color work, the lace, or the.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Right? Yeah.
And maybe put links in, because it might be interesting for me to check out, because I don't know a crocheter. So
yeah, for sure. So make alongs. So again, this year-long sweater, the New Year, new to me technique, and the whips. So whip those whips.
Right. Get them done. Get them done and get them out.
All right. Congratulations to our giveaway winners. We'll try and pop in some occasional little surprise giveaways too. So hope you're watching till the end, because you never know what you might find.
I know.
Yeah. I guess that's it then. So stay safe, stay warm,
and then
happy knitting.
Take care.
Make time to make something.